On today's episode, we will be discussing how to keep the spark alive and the relationship strong even after the kids are born.
Yes, very important. Hi everyone, welcome to Talk This Today. I'm Namita.
And I'm Simran. And today's topic is a really important one for people for couples in long-term relationships. Because we all know the story, right? Girl meets boy and girl fall in love, they date, they go out, and then they think, oh my God, I can't spend another moment without you in my life. I want to get married. I want to live together, yada, yada, yada. They get married, and wow, the arguments start after the initial honeymoon phase, but it still seems like life is great. So let's make it better. Let's have a kid. This is going to strengthen our bond.
No, it's a bit.
And if you're
बच्चा पैदा कर लो सब ठीक हो जाएगा. Like your relationship becomes stronger. बच्चा पैदा कर लो.
Famous last words. Anyways, then we will be settled, and then we have a kid. There you go. So then what happens?
Well, but then the reality hits. The baby's born and the baby's cute and you can't believe you have a baby. It's so amazing. It feels like this is a miracle of life. But the baby is constantly crying and pooping, and there starts some trouble. Now, all you guys have in common is the kids and the running households, and seems more like you are both just discussing all the problems and the households and firefighting all the time. And we have come up and discussed some good and easy tips to help you cope up and keep your spark alive in your relationship.
So for me, rule number one is always the same. And if you guys have been following my podcast, you know what it is. Always, always, always is the no-brainer is communication, communication, communication. Yeah. Say it with me one more time. Communication.
Communications, yeah.
Communication always has been the key to any good relationship. It's so important that either of you immediately tells your partner or spouse what you're feeling. Whether it's insecurity, lack of appreciation, or just the fact that you're overwhelmed. Guys, this is too much for me. I can't do it. I need a timeout. You need to tell each other what's going on in your head, because you give yourself a timeout, spouse doesn't know, they start feeling insecure. It's a mess of the mind. No one is a mind reader, guys, and never can be. So please speak up and tell your spouse or your partner what's on your mind.
Well, communication is always a good rule, Simrat. For me, the rule has always been to spend more time together. Quality time with your spouse is a must. And in fact, more than me, my husband is always insistent that we go out for our date nights without kids or dinners and make time for each other. Even if it's just, a few minutes together, like maybe in the morning having a cup of coffee together without, basically without any distractions. I would say it could be maybe working out together. It could be, I would say, having breakfast out together, lunch out together, anything that, the time that you spend with each other and nobody else should be around. So spending this one-on-one time with your spouse where you don't talk about kids or family or chores or this and that. That's very, very important. Listen to your favorite music or something on the drive. So which makes you feel like, alive, and which makes you go back to those beautiful memories that you have built up over the years.
So Namita, this is great, because what you're talking about is keeping the small romance alive, right?
Exactly.
Go for a drive, hold your hand, don't hold your hand, look at yourself, like just be comfortable with each other. Do that one-on-one time, right? Even when you're just listening to music, going for a drive, going for a coffee. I also think in continuation kind of with this is one of the very important connections we have as a couple, and we're all human beings, is the physical intimacy. Now that could be defined in different ways for everyone. Physical intimacy becomes one of the first things that we give
up.
Very,
very important, Simran. That's very important, actually.
Very important. So like when the kids are young, their sleep schedule is crazy. We're tired all the time, moms and dads, depending on who's doing what. And we're constantly feeling like, I'm feeling gross. Kid barfed on me. I have to change it up. Don't even come near me. I don't want any form of sex or any cuddling or any kind of physical, intimacy. And then the kids get a little older, they're out of diapers, but then they're sleeping with you or they're in and out of their room. Sorry. And then it just feels like sex is a far possibility. We don't want any of that. It's just too much of a hassle. And I hear this from couples all the time. And I'm like, dude, that does not seem normal. So if you're one of those people who's finding that sex is like out of the door, we're older, we have kids. No, don't. There are some couples who set fixed schedules, like every Friday, every other Friday, every second Saturday. It sounds laughable, but you know what? If you're not getting time to be physically intimate, do it. Do whatever it takes to spice it up. Do something different. You book a hotel for the afternoon and just go and romp your brains out and whatever you do. But prioritize physical intimacy.
It's very important, Simrit. I know. I mean, when you mentioned about the kids, making them sleep separate in a separate room, it's good to, maybe decide an age. Okay, now they should be moving to a different room, not sleeping with you. I often have seen or heard the conservative parents and they, भाई कैसे माँ बाप है बच्चों को अलग रूम में सुलाते हैं मतलब instead of understanding the whole idea they just like they try to but then why so they're still very small हमारे टाइम में तो इतने साल तक हम साथ में सुलाते थे that's
don't talk about unhealthy stuff, guys. Don't bring that home.
So just overlook all those things. You don't have to get into that emotional, I would say, drama of
blackmail almost, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So absolutely, Simran. And this is part of my next advice too. So always try and have fun together. It's it's easy for a marriage to become serious. It's very easy. When marriage becomes serious, you would not know. All you are doing is working together, working at raising kids together, working at keeping the household running, working at keeping the house clean, the bills paid, everything organized, everything has to be on schedule, and there shouldn't be like everything has to be like perfect, and it all feels like work. Seriously, it's just like you're working, right? So don't do that. Remember to have fun together. Do fun activities together. Go out dancing or dance at home with your kids on loud, play a loud music or play some games together. Most important is remember to laugh together. Go for a walk, join a gym, as I mentioned earlier as well. Do something together. Remember to add fun activities to your life as a couple, and it will definitely strengthen your bond.
Really important. Yeah, I think with that comes one really important human element, which is appreciation, right? We forget how much human beings appreciate sincere compliments. So remember to appreciate each other, even for the small things. You cooked a meal, somebody slaved over it, the husband or wife. I'm not going to be gender biased because it's so many roles are different. Say, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, I loved it. Today is really special. Or even the morning cup of coffee when we feel great. Like my husband makes the coffee and I'll be like, oh, I love this. It's not like a bit, but it makes you feel appreciation for each other, right?
Yeah.
So remember that household is a lot of work, and many times in traditional or earlier, the gender roles were really well defined. So the women would feel like all day I'm slaving here at home, and it's a lot of hard work managing, cooking, planning the meals, cleaning the household, doing the laundry, managing stuff, taking care of the kids, making them sit. And the husband would come back. I mean, I'm just again saying this is earlier. The husband would come home and say, I've been outside stressed dealing with like my boss yelled at me today. This colleague is playing mind games, and they would come home and say, you don't know what it takes out there to earn the money. And they would say, well, you don't know what. So listen, guys, time out. Both things are equally hard. Just appreciate each other. Try to feel gratitude towards having a good partner who you're dealing, and slowly those problems will melt away. We don't realize like how the small things, appreciation, it may, for people who don't appreciate, and I've seen even in my circle, in my friends, where the couples don't like, they're like, it sounds weird. She makes good food. She knows that. No, say, oh wow, today's meal was good, or I love the way you got ready today, or I love your hairstyle today. And equally she can say like, oh
wow, you're looking hot today.
But I'm so glad you came home early today. Thanks for doing this. And those things really go a long way in, you're being kind towards each other, you're showing appreciation towards each other, and nobody likes to be taken for granted. So do that. I think that's important.
That's very important. Yeah. Taking for granted. No, nobody likes that. So it's extremely important to show appreciation, Simrat, as you mentioned, and gratitude towards one another. That's what I would want to add on to. But another way to do that is through actions of sharing the responsibility. Both partners should chip in and work together, whether it's with the baby work or feeding or changing or putting the baby to sleep, or with the household chores or cleaning the dishes or cooking the meals or making morning coffee, as you mentioned, and doing the laundry and buying the groceries, whatever chores. No one partner should have to take all the responsibility.
I agree.
Share. And when you share responsibilities, you become true partners and bond grows stronger. Right?
Absolutely.
And the relationship definitely can be more fulfilling then.
Yeah, and that's what it is, right? That's how you keep the spark alive, by realizing each other's weaknesses and strengths.
Yeah.
So today's takeaway is that running the household and raising kids can be stressful, and it is a lot of hard work. But it doesn't mean you need to sacrifice your marriage, your spark in your marriage, your bond together.
Yes.
So remember to take time out for the both of you, just you, both you and him, or him and you, and whatever, and bond alone. Communicate honestly and openly with each other. Spice your sex life up, because that's really important. And appreciate each other and have each other's back completely. Become true partners instead of just co-parents. Remember, keeping your love alive takes a lot of effort and commitment from both partners, but it's always worth it at the end of the day.
It's worth it. Well, that's all on Talk to Us today, and we always look forward to hearing from you all. If you think anything that you would like to share or anything you like about our show, do let us know in the comment section, or email us at hello@talktoustoday.com and let your friends know where to find us. And please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to stay notified of our new videos every Friday at 6 p.m.
Also, don't forget to follow our podcast on Spotify. Yes. It's under the same name, Talk to Us Today, and you'll find all our new and old talks on the podcast. So don't forget to follow us there. Thank you for joining us on Talk to Us Today. Remember to talk about Talk to Us Today. Keep smiling.
Keep laughing.
Keep talking. Keep loving each other, guys. Thank you for joining us. See you guys next Friday. Have a good week. Bye.
Bye.